I wanted to be the first one to talk here because I wanted to be able to just say the phrase we're about to talk about. It's the swag gap.
This was one that I picked because I thought this was really interesting because of the discourse on TikTok and like sort of my own lived experience. But TikTokers are warning about the swag gap in relationships. A swag gap refers to the noticeable difference in style, confidence, or overall coolness between partners. This term has gained traction on TikTok. The gap isn't limited to just fashion choices. It also encompasses the demeanor, behavior, and confidence difference between the two. For instance, one partner might dress fashionably and exude confidence, while the other appears less stylish or unsure in social settings. This mismatch can lead to feelings of embarrassment or concern about social perceptions. Some TikTok users say that the big differences in style or confidence between partners, or the swag gap, might show deeper compatibility problems if one person's lack of style or confidence makes the other feel embarrassed or lowers their self-esteem. It could be warning signs in the relationship. Experts suggest talking openly about these differences. Honest conversations can help figure out whether the gap is just a small issue or a real mismatch. Understanding each other's values and perspectives is important before deciding what to do.
Okay, so can this be a problem? Sure, everything can be a problem.
Right.
But I actually think that most people end up with somebody because they have complementary reasons for being together. Not completely opposites attract always, but if you're strong in column A and they're strong in column B, that might make for a good match. So maybe the person that isn't quite as comfortable being swagged out or isn't quite as confident, maybe the thing that they get out of the relationship is a little more of that confidence, and maybe the person that isn't as confident has some other skill that the swagged out, loud mouth person needs themselves, that really, brings their life to a more full and compatible and successful level.
Yeah.
So I think that while it can be an issue, because a million things can be, I think a lot of times you have people that are together because as one unit, they make a stronger whole.
Yeah, I think it could really only be an issue if the person who doesn't have as much confidence won't enter a social setting. If you've got a really social person and a really antisocial person and they won't meet in the middle, that can be hard because your person that's craving social interaction and attention wants to go out, wants to be chatting to everybody, and you want to do those things with your partner. And if the person who's that much more antisocial just doesn't want to do it, that can be really difficult.
And I've definitely seen that.
I've seen that
and
too.
That is not just about antisocial behavior, though. That is a combination of antisocial behavior and not having respect for what your other partner needs. If they want to be out and about and they're a people person and they like to be around other people, then I can see where there's a real rift there. I had a friend that was in a relationship. She, had like her own big community of friends, and they liked to do stuff, and the person she was dating didn't even want to go to her own birthday party, and that's not going to work.
Right.
That's a gap that you probably can't cover.
Right.
But I do think that in a lot of cases, the things that are different about people are the things that make a relationship strong.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think, I'm definitely the flashier dresser in my relationship. I like to play around with different styles. I like different looks. And my man is like, it's a bro tank or bust and jeans. And I'm okay with that. I love that.
But neither of you lack in confidence.
And that's right. We don't necessarily struggle in the confidence or chatting department where people are like, will one of you stop talking, please? So I think that's where just the style side, we have a bit of a swag gap, if you will, but it's not necessarily the confidence. And I feel like the confidence is probably the more important part in the swag gap, because I think a confident person will carry themselves differently no matter what it is that you're wearing.
Because if it comes to just fashion, there's a couple things. Either they're actually just not into that kind of thing, and that's just fine.
And that's fine.
Or maybe they don't have a good fashion sense themselves, and they're out there in the wild looking for somebody to help them out a little bit.
Yeah, there's some of that too. So I'm always trying to keep my eyes peeled for stuff, and I'm like, this might work, but it's different shopping for a man.
My wife, it drives her crazy.
It drives me crazy too.
The work thing is pretty easy. I'm in a suit, I know what I like, and I have certain rules about what I want to wear at work, and the color schemes or the styles that work well for what we do. In my regular everyday life, because I spend so much time in my work clothes, I honestly don't have nearly enough just regular clothes. And that's where like she helps me out a little bit, like, oh, try this, or
Yeah.
let's see what this looks like. And sometimes I'm very much like, and
Right,
then
like,
I try it out, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But usually it is.
Yeah, but no, it's hard to shop for a man. You guys don't have as many fun options, or like to step out of your style comfort zone. I feel like there's not a lot of like baby steps. It's kind of like what you know and then something completely different, and those are your choices. And there's not a lot of like, maybe we can play with this here.
And also, male friends are just the worst to
I
each
know,
other. Like,
I know.
Like you'll
Dude, what are you
try
wearing,
to do
bro?
one little thing, and it'll be that's months. You are now, hey, hat guy.
Remember that time you wore those really funky glasses? Like it's just, it's over for you.
That is a decade long of ridicule if you do the wrong thing with your friend group. But you know what? Sometimes you got to do it anyway.
That is also true. So the swag gap I thought was an interesting conversation, and it's definitely something that folks are talking about on social media. I think it's the kind of thing that, don't take too seriously, especially for the younger folks out there starting to dip their toes in the dating pool. But I thought it was an interesting conversation. But we do have some more CoastLife to get to. Like we said, it is officially October. It is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We've got some friends that are giving back to the community in that very special way.